Welcome back, guys, once again to my YouTube channel Study Abroad Academy. My name is Shikhar and I live in UK and try to help other students who are planning to come for their further studies in UK. So today's topic is going to be whether it's worth spending extra money and going for a university in London or not. So please make sure you watch this video till the end and let's begin without any delay. So I've seen a lot of people on my Instagram messages and on YouTube comment section that a lot of people are interested to study in universities across the London or nearby cities of the London. So right now I'm going to discuss what are the benefits, that are pros and cons of studying and staying in London. I'll try to be unbiased about it. So let's discuss first the pros, the benefits of staying in London. So the first benefit of staying in London is easy to get part-time jobs. So there are a lot of pubs, restaurants, and bars in the London as compared to other cities, and so it would be much more easier to get part-time jobs because there are more part-time jobs in London as compared to other cities of the UK. Second point is it's an amazing city. So people who love living in city, it's amazing city. It's beautiful. You have a lot of tourist spots to visit in the city as compared to other cities. There are maximum number of tourist spots or things to do in London if you compare. And you won't get bored in London because there are a lot of things to do. Third point is easy and cheap public transport. In the entire London is covered by the underground, or you have buses over there, but mostly underground. A lot of everyone in London travel by underground, which is cheap. It is not that expensive. So if you want to go anywhere in London, you can easily commute by the underground or the overground or other train also in London. The final point of benefit of living in London is when you do part-time jobs, you have a minimum pay rate is higher in London as compared to the other cities. So I don't know what exactly is the difference. I think it's like 50p or £1 difference for an hour, which you think is not much, but when you accumulate for the number of hours, for example, if you're working 20 hours a week, for 1 week you'll earn 20 pounds more, or 20 or 30 pounds more for the same amount of work you'll be doing in other cities. So you'll earn a little bit more while doing part-time jobs in London. So now let's discuss the cons of living in London. So first point is it is very expensive. As we all know that London is one of the most expensive place to buy or rent houses in the world. Okay, so if you are renting a house in London, it would be double the price for what you would be paying in other cities of the UK. So for example, if in the north or northwest, in Manchester, Leeds, Liverpool, I know this area, so that's why I'm taking that as an example. For an year, for example, you're paying 4,000 or 5,000 pounds for the same amount of space, or even the less space. You have to pay around 9, 10, or even 12,000 pounds in London for the same apartment or same amount of space. So as it is very expensive, you won't be able to save much money in London. Second point is lot of rush at peak hours. So in London, as I said before, that everyone travel by the underground trains or overground trains. So in the peak hour, that is generally between 7 to 9 o'clock, and in the evenings when all the office rush go, if you're traveling at that time in underground, you'll see long queues. You'll feel like you have come somewhere completely different, like the tubes would be jam packed in the morning. Third point is again it is concerning with the public transport. So for example, if there's a train strike or disruption in your line, that means you are packed in London. You won't be able to go anywhere because your train line is not working and you cannot go by taxis, or you cannot drive. So that's one of the problems in London. You won't be able to go to universities also if there's a disruption in your line. And there's long commutes also. So for example, if your university is in zone 1, and then you'll get accommodation in zone 3 or zone 4, so which could take approximately half an hour to hour to reach to your university, which means there are long commutes while going to universities. And the final point is that there's a lot of competition for grad scheme. So as we all know that in London there are top universities of UK, like for example LSE, Cass Business School, UCL, King's College, London. Then there's Queen's Mary University also, and there are other universities also that come in tier 3 ranking. That is University of East London, University of West London, University of Westminster, and then on the outskirts there's Royal Holloway also, which is a pretty good university. And so all these students from these university apply for jobs in London, grad jobs. So that means there's a lot of competition, and then candidate and students from different universities, for example Manchester, Liverpool, Leeds, Edinburgh, Warwick, Bath, Bristol, they also apply for a lot of jobs in London, so which automatically increases the competition for getting jobs in London and reduces your chances to get a job because of increase in competition. So that's what I think, that's one of the negative points of living in London, or if you're applying for jobs in London. So that's all that I've discussed for benefits and cons of living and studying in London. Finally, I would like to say is that if you're going to top tier universities in London, for example, Cass Business School, London School of Economics, Imperial, King's College, UCL, then you should definitely go over there because it will give you a kickstart to your career and would look good on your CV because they have a good brand name. But if not, if you're going to other universities like University of West London or East London or anywhere else to save money because of the fees is less in those universities, then I would say go to universities in the north or northwest, because over there the fees is expensive but the living would be cheaper. So overall the amount spent would be same. So definitely go for, if you can, if you have the good grades, go for university that are better in ranking, like Russell Group University, then focus on living in London. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed my video. Hope it was a little bit informative for you guys. And if you have any doubts or something, please comment below and I'll try to answer as soon as possible. And if you found this video useful, please hit the like button and subscribe button. See you next week with a new topic.